Hello and welcome back to Vintage Gaming Memories. Thank you all for checking this video out. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do, as it really does help me grow this channel. And if this is a return visit, thank you for your continued interest and support. In this video, we'll be looking at this handheld / tabletop game by Tandy called Alien Chase. So what got my attention to acquire this game is that it uses two VFDs. VFD stands for Vacuum Fluorescent Display. Basically, it's a heavy battery drain, but your display is brighter and the contrast is a lot better than those previous technology that was used in games. So I did create a video on the Coleco 7, which some of those games uses VFDs, and you can see the difference. I have a link right up here. If you haven't seen that Coleco 7 video, it's definitely worth a watch. So with this Alien Chase, it does use the two VFDs, which is what the Coleco Zaxxon also used. But what's pretty cool about this game is that you and your opponent play across from each other and you see the same image. So let's do a quick run through on the exterior. As you can see, it's really in great condition. It's been very well taken care of by the previous owner or owners. It measures 6 inches wide, going from side to side, by 8 3/4 inches deep, and 6 1/4 inches tall. Only the player 1 side has all the switches, which you can see, and the player 2 side just simply has the joystick. So let me take this off the carousel, give you a better look at everything. Okay, as I mentioned, on the player 1 side, you have the 4 switches here. The first switch is the power on and off. This next one is the sound on and off. You've got a choice between levels of pro or amateur, and then player, 1 player or 2 players. And then the joystick also has functionality. If you press it forward, it will start the game. If you press it backwards, it'll give you options to toggle between games 0, 1, 2, or 3. On the right side of player 1, you will notice that it has an AC adapter jack. And that will lead me to the battery compartment. And let's see here. Let me turn it off first. And as you can see, the battery compartment, the bottom is really clean. The battery compartment is in the middle with the label for short instructions on the game. Pushing it down and opening it up. It takes 4 C-size batteries. That's pretty much it. It is a solid looking game. I like it. Okay, I have this powered on with the sound off and propped up so you can see the full display of the game. It's really clean, clear, bright, and a lot of flickering lights, which is not the camera, it is really in the game. Those are like the stars in the background. It's got a really cool looking display for you to look at when you play. Just a quick run through on the game objective. So you are controlling an astronaut that has the mission of capturing aliens and bringing them back to your home base. There's no time limit. There's no number of lives that you're given. There's no real scoring in this game. It's just more of a race to see who can capture 7 aliens first. You can either play solo against the computer or play against an opponent. To capture an alien, all you have to do is bring your astronaut close to it, and then you'll capture it in your magnetic field. And then the challenge is bringing that alien back to your home base when your home base hatch opens up. That's easier said than done, because you have to avoid a handful of obstacles that are in your path that will bring you back to your home base empty-handed when you collide into them. Those obstacles are the alien spaceship that you see in the middle of the display. Right there, it has the 2 arms that can hit you. There's also 2 laser beam guns that your opponent has at their base, which can fire on you. There's the meteorites that you have to avoid colliding into. And lastly, there is your opponent who can snatch the alien from you. Now, there are 4 game modes to choose from, 0, 1, 2, and 3. With game 1, your obstacles are the alien spaceship, your opponent's laser beam at their home base, and your opponent snatching your captured alien from you. Game 2 is the same as game 1, except add in the meteorites that are stationary, but you have to maneuver around them. And then game 3 is the same as game 2, except that the meteorites are in motion. Then the last game mode, which I mentioned was game 0 here, it's a combination of games 1, 2, and 3, which is pretty neat how they did this. You start off with the obstacles that are in game 1, but once you or your opponent captures 3 aliens, Then the game mode goes to game 2, and then the challenge there has those stationary meteorites that are in the way. Once you and or your opponent captures 3 aliens each, or if your opponent captures 6 or you capture 6 aliens, then game 3 challenges appear, which is the moving meteorites. I think it's a pretty cool logic they put in this game, because you are trying to get to 7 aliens. Why not mix it up a little bit with the obstacles and avoidances that you have to make before you get to 7 aliens, right? Let's see what else. Player 1 is always on the bottom here, and player 2 or the computer will always be on top. Player 1, that astronaut, is red in color, whereas player 2 or the computer up on top is no color to it. All right, well, that's enough of the instructions. Let's play. I'll leave the sound on because it has a familiar tune to it when I do power it up or when I initiate the game. Let's see here. We'll leave it on amateur, 1-player game. We'll change the mode here. You can see in my home base there on the bottom, there's nothing in there. If I press it down once, I have 1 alien. That means I'm in game 1 mode, game 2, game 3, or game 0. We'll go with game 1. Put the sound on. You'll hear a clicking, which could be annoying after a while, but the game is pretty quick. And then if I press forward to start it, you'll hear that tune that I was mentioning. Pretty neat, right? Okay, so let me see if I can maneuver this. There's no fire button. It's just strictly maneuvering your... Well, he already scored 1. As you can see, he's got 1 alien in his home base area, and I think he's going to beat me to it. Let me see if I can get one. Oh, I hit the arm, and I think he's got it right there. He's going to get it into his home base. Ah, I hit. All right, he's got 2. Ah. All right, I stole it from him, and I'm coming down now. There you go. I made 1 in my home base. So it's a score of 2-1, and it continues, as I said, to 7. At the end, whoever has 7, the game ends, and they'll play that same tune that was in the beginning. But let me show you the other game modes, because this is just really the arms you're avoiding and your opponent from snatching it away from you, and the laser beams. Let's go and let me shut this down, turn it on, and we'll go to game 2 and start it. So this should be the meteorites in the game with it not moving. They're going to be stationary. And there they are. There's 4 of them there. They're not moving, but you can't bump into them or else you'll go back to the home base with nothing in your magnetic field. And then let's go to the 3rd game. And here the meteorites will be moving. There you go. Makes it for a really good challenge. And that could take a longer time to get 7 of them. I think this is a pretty cool concept game that has really no point total, no fire buttons, and it's just really relying on you to use your playing skills of accomplishing the mission first. You know, you have to maneuver around obstacles and challenges. And I also love how they use the 2 VFDs in sync to have it shown on each side. I don't know, I think it's a solid game in my book. Let me know if you actually own this game before or if you've seen it. Comment down below. I mean, you can find this on eBay, I'm sure. Condition-wise varies, and you know how that goes. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video on Tandy's Alien Chase. Remember, keep that gaming passion from the past alive by living it today. Take care, everyone.